Hello everyone, I'm Himani Joshi. I'm PhD scholar at IIIT Delhi. In this presentation, I'm going to present the hardware demonstration of the proposed intelligent reconfigurable wideband spectrum characterization for 5G applications. The proposed wideband spectrum characterization performs wideband angular spectrum sensing at sub-Nyquist rate. Here, we determine the occupancy status, that is, vacant or busy states of all frequency bands of the received multiband signal, followed by the determination of direction of arrivals of busy frequency bands. The block diagram shows the prototype design of the proposed wideband angular sensing. It consists of three modules. The first module is Dynamic Wireless Traffic Generator. This module generates the wireless multi-directional multi-user signal with the help of NI-USRP 2944R and horn antennas. In the far field region, we kept the design wideband angular sensing receiver module where the antenna array receives the multi-directional multi-user signals. The output of antenna array is combined with the phase reference signal, which is generated in the phase reference generator module and is transmitted via equal length SMA cables. The combined signal is then sent to the receiver NI-USRPs followed by the baseband signal processing in the processing unit. In order to synchronize the ADCs and local oscillators of both the receiver USRPs, we used octoclock to transmit the common clock signal and PPA signal to both the USRPs. Now I discuss the baseband signal processing of these three blocks in detail. So here the blue block represent the baseband signal processing performed in the lab view and yellow blocks represent the hardware units like USRPs, octoclock and antennas. The block diagram shown here is the design of dynamic wireless traffic generator. The first block here is the uncorrelated SCFDMA signal generator which generates n+1 uncorrelated SCFDMA signals. Here the first SCFDMA signal is the synchronization signal and the other n SCFDMA signals are for end user data signals. The Fourier transform of the output of this block is shown in the waveform. The next block is the set reset bit generator. This block generates the masking bits for n+1 bands shown in the waveform. The masking bit of the SS band is generated as a square wave, and whenever this masking bit changes its status, the masking bits of n user data signals, that is U1 to UN bands, are generated. The masking bit of these n bands are generated as independent Markovian process whose transitional probability, that is PUV, are taken as input to this block. Here U and V represent two states, that is vacant or busy states of a frequency band. These masking bits S along with the uncorrelated multiband SCFDMA signal, that is XUT, are then sent to the masking operation block where M masking vectors are generated for M directional transmission. These masking vectors are generated such that each masking vector has the masking bits of specific frequency bands. For example, as we can see in the waveform, if the first masking vector stores the masking bit of first three bands and second masking vector stores the masking bits for next three bands and so on, then the Fourier transform as shown in the waveform, the masking operation block will contain the information of the corresponding bands only. That is, here Fourier transform of XU1 will store the information of only first three bands, and the Fourier transform of XU2T will store the will have the information of next three bands only. So the output signals, that is XU1T to XUMT, are then transmitted to M directions via NI-USRP 2944R and horn antennas. Along with this, this phase reference generator block module, which generates the phase reference signal, is designed. So this signal is the sum of the sinusoidal signals of phase 0 and 90 degree having the carrier frequency of 200 kilohertz. It can be observed from the waveform that the carrier frequency is chosen such that it is less than FPRS. That is the bandwidth of phase reference signal band. This signal is then passed to to USRP N200, followed by the wire transmission via SMA cable. This signal is combined with the output of the receiver antenna array, as we discussed in the previous block diagram. So this combined signal here, we can see that is then passed to USRP. So this YN is the output of receiver USRPs, which is having L number of antennas. So here the Fourier transform, we can see that here we are receiving this this signal YN consists of phase reference signal, synchronization signal, and user data signal. So this YN signal is sent to the grain block, which represent the phase calibration and synchronization block. So what happened in this? Here the synchronization block, that is the first block here, it filters out the synchronization signal, that is SS signal, and generates the pulse signal PBT whenever the status of the SS band changes. This block also generates the filtered user data signal, that is Y hat N, and its Fourier transform is also shown in the waveform. Now, in parallel to the synchronization block, the offset calculation block filters out the phase reference signal. Since the phase reference signal is transmitted to all the receiving channels of USRP via equivalent SMA cables, the phase of the received phase reference signal corresponds to the phase offset introduced due to analog front ends of the receiving channels. Now, this phase offset along with the filtered user data signal, that is U hat N, are passed to the phase calibration block, where the phase offset from all the L received channels is removed, and its formula is shown here. This phase calibrated user data signal, that is Y tilde N, is sent to the reconfigurable and intelligent wideband angular sensing block. This block is processed whenever the pulse signal PPT changes its status. The input signal, that is Y tilde N, contains the information of all N frequency bands. So, when we directly give this signal to the DO estimation unit, then we face sensing failure whenever the number of transmission is higher than the number of antennas. So here, in the proposed reconfigurable and intelligent wideband angular sensing, we have the learning and decision making block, where we determine the optimal value of beta, where beta stores the indexes of frequency bands that are to be sensed or digitized, so that the throughput, that is the number of vacant bands in beta, is maximized without facing any sensing failure. Now, with this information of beta, the finite rate of innovation based reconfigurable sub-Nyquist sampling block generates the digitized samples that corresponds to only beta frequency bands. These sub-Nyquist samples are then sent to the spectrum sensing unit to estimate the occupancy status, that is S beta, of beta frequency bands. Now, last we have the DO estimation unit, which estimates the DOA of beta of BZ bands present in the beta frequency bands. Now we'll show the demo, where we show the hardware demonstration of this entire setup.
In this demonstration, we are going to perform wideband angular sensing over a multi-band signal. Here we transmit directional uncorrelated SC-FDMA signals in some of the frequency bands, and at the receiver, we first determine the occupancy status of these frequency bands, followed by the determination of the direction of arrivals of occupied frequency bands. Since the multiband signal is considered as a sparse signal, we utilize sub-Nyquist samples to perform wideband angular sensing. First, we consider a scenario where we have two directional target signals in the transmitted multiband signal and 4 antenna sparse array at receiver to perform wideband angular sensing. For the transmission of two directional target signals, we used one NA-USRP 2944R. This USRP provides two transmission channels. To perform directional transmission, we connect two horn antennas to these transmission channels. To perform wideband angular sensing, we configured the antenna array as 4 antenna sparse array. The output of these antennas are connected to the 4 receiving channels of 2 NI-USRP 2944R. To synchronize the local oscillators and ADCs of both the USRPs, we used octoclock, which provides common clock signal and PPA signal to both USRPs. The 4 channels of USRPs have independent analog front end, due to which the signals received from the antenna array incur random phase shift. To remove this phase shift, we generate a sine wave which acts as a phase reference signal. The signal is transmitted via ETS USRP N200 and equivalent SMA cables. This signal is then added to the output of the antenna array with the help of combiners. The combined signal is processed by a processing unit to perform wideband angular sensing. In the screen, we can see the outputs. From the frequency spectrum, we can observe that 2 signals are received at the receiver and 2 peaks in the music spectrum tells their direction of arrivals, which is around 17 degree and 60 degree. The DONS and DOSNS show the direction of arrivals obtained when Nyquist samples and sub-Nyquist samples are used for wideband angular sensing. Next, we consider a scenario where we have 3 directional signals in the multiband signal and 4 antenna sparse array at receiver to perform wideband angular sensing. It can be observed from the frequency spectrum that the receiver receives 3 signals and 3 peaks in the music spectrum tells their respective direction of arrivals. Now we see how the direction of arrivals of 3 target signals vary when we rotate the receiver antenna array.
So this is the hardware demonstration of the proposed wideband angular sensing receiver. If you have any doubts, then please feel free to contact me at the given email ID.